Hi, I'm Danny Laws, principal owner of the Bryan Marketing Group. The Bryan Marketing Group is a digital marketing agency. We focus on everything from web design to social media pay-per-click, inbound marketing, SEO, as well as analytics, and we are Google AdWords partners. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about the effectiveness of combining SEO and pay-per-click and how that can impact the business. Some of the things that I'm going to talk about are at a high level, specifically come from the Google Partner Summit that took place in New York about a month ago, and been thinking about that lately as we go into the new year, closing out Q4, and speaking with a lot of our clients about potential opportunities that combine the efforts of both SEO and pay-per-click to maximize their effectiveness. So with that being said, some of the things I want to give you a high level on the content. Talk about strategy, specifically localized strategy, the impact on incremental clicks, performance, controlled visibility, the data. How do we leverage that data, right? Tailoring the message. And finally, we want to talk about localized measurement and what that means for a business in its context, right? So kicking this off first and foremost, speaking of localized strategies, you want to take a look at the localized strategies for your business, including the SWOT analysis, your unique value proposition, your company's position within the market, and look at how you formulate that strategy as you consider SEO and pay-per-click together. One of the most common things that we see is redundancy on ineffective keywords from both an SEO perspective and a pay-per-click perspective. So not only are you ranking for keywords that have low volume and don't resonate with your target audience, but you're also paying for those keywords and phrases via AdWords or Bing ads, so compounding the issue. So ideally you want to avoid that. You also want to consider a mobile strategy. You've heard it, you've seen it, you're looking at all the data. Google went, as far as mobile, making sure everything was mobile friendly, giving you accessibility, a number of tools to make sure that you can maximize your strategies and improve your mobile sites. That is going to be imperative closing out the fourth quarter, going into 2017. Making sure that your products, features, and benefits are very clear to your customers. Not necessarily you, but what does that mean to the customer? How do those features and benefits translate, right? So we want to make sure that we keep that at the forefront. And while you're looking at strategies, bear in mind that AdWords, Bing ads, it goes way beyond simple elements of search, right? So that's Gmail, that's display, that's video. Think about that as you start to lay out your localized strategy, and in some cases that's a national strategy, but it's still relevant, right? The other piece of this is the incremental links, right? Incremental clicks, excuse me. So PPC generates brand awareness. It's generally at the top of the page, right? You've seen it at the top of the page, and now you're seeing it at the bottom of the page. And in many cases, that generates awareness around a product, an offering, or a brand, right? So some people, such as myself, won't necessarily click on that, knowing that it has a tendency to cause the customer cost per click, right? They're paying for that click. So periodically, what people do is simply take that keyword, that organization, and search for them, and that has an incremental lift in organic search queries, sometimes by brand name, sometimes by offering, and sometimes by service. So you're going to see that incremental lift when you combine pay-per-click and SEO just naturally by people's own human behavior, right? The performance, again, looking at pay-per-click and SEO, the ability to measure lead generation, sales, as well as brand awareness is more simplistic than ever, provided the tools, the enhancements, the analytics, the integrations that are out there. Call tracking is another variable that plays very much into the organic side, specifically for services, being able to measure that information and seeing what's happening. So you can measure the performance as an overarching search campaign, and you can also measure them in isolation, pay-per-click, and SEO separately to figure out where the greatest opportunities are for you to minimize your cost and maximize the lead generation and achieve your goals and objectives however you have them laid out within your overarching strategy. The other piece here is controlled visibility, right? So what we very often see in the space is pay-per-click versus SEO, the potential number of customers that are coming, and minimizing that cost per new customer, cost per new lead, cost per new sale or new business relationship in its entirety. So there's a lot of overlap in that area. Sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes that's a bad thing where you're duplicating efforts. So there's definitely an opportunity to control what people see based upon the content that you're creating and the campaigns in which they are what they're focused on, whether it be a geographic footprint, whether it be a specific demographic, you name it. There's an opportunity to control what shows up on the paid search side, so that you're not cannibalizing yourself unless it's a necessity or a piece or a critical element of the strategy, right? Not necessarily a good thing in its entirety, but sometimes it can work to your benefit. The other piece here is, as far as control visibility, is mobile, right? So you have this mobile component and the opportunity to create mobile-only campaigns for that call-in functionality or call-only campaigns to make sure that those individuals are coming through, that those are hot leads, that their intent is they want something right now. So you can deliver on those results, creating a greater customer experience and generally leading to more profitability, which is ideally what you want to do between SEO and pay-per-click, as well as your overarching marketing and business plan, right? The other piece here is limiting the redundancies in keyword targets based upon psychographic, demographics, intent. Those types of things, being able to isolate them and or figure out how you have a more cohesive strategy is definitely an element that you want to take into consideration as you're looking to combine SEO and pay-per-click for more impact on the business, right? And looking at opportunities where your visibility organically isn't where you want it to be, and substituting and or testing pay-per-click campaigns to make sure you're covering the ground that you need to and being competitive in the marketplace when people are looking for products and services, right? The other piece that I mentioned earlier is the data everywhere, right? You got Moz tools, you've got Raven tools, you've got SEMrush, you've got Google Analytics, Adobe Analytics, you name it. You've got tools for mobile site browsing tools, you name it, site speed. If you can think of it, pretty much there's a tool out there. So how do we leverage that data? I want to give you one clear example, right? So if you're running pay-per-click campaigns, you're running on the display network as an example. The display network allows you to disseminate banner ads on relevant locations within Google's networks that resonate with your target audience, and in some cases, you're going to see great results. When you identify those great results that are leading to high brand awareness, lead generation, and or sales, take communicating with that individual network and saying, hey, I've got some valuable content, or are you looking for content, to create those link building opportunities of audiences that resonate with your clientele, your business, whatever it might be. So that's an opportunity for you to reach out, leverage that data, create that content, create a relationship, and ideally get those links that are going to help on the SEO side and SEO rankings. So leverage that data to your best of your ability to make sure that you're creating relevant content and that you're resonating with that audience regardless of whether or not it is SEO or pay-per-click, right? The other piece here that I mentioned earlier is tailoring the message. So when we talk about tailoring the message, specifically on the pay-per-click side, you can tailor the message and test messages based upon geographic footprint, based upon remarketing, based upon intent, geography, and overall demographics. So you can tailor that message, figure out which one of those messages works well, and then start to create content from an organic perspective that aligns and or helps to reduce the overall cost per click, and making it more effective improving those quality scores, connecting more specifically on intent and where they're at in the buying process. So definitely an opportunity to tailor that message more specifically for your target audience and getting maximum impact between pay-per-click and SEO. Great opportunity there as far as testing those messages. Highly recommend it. And finally, localized measurement, right? So if you're a business, and obviously you're on a national scale, you want to look at what's happening from a national perspective. But if you are a regional business, if you are a smaller mom and pop type of business, right? What is happening from the pay-per-click and SEO side, specifically in your backyard, as it relates to brand reach and visibility, lead generation, and or sales? You don't necessarily want to look at the world in its entirety when you're looking at organic search traffic. Local traffic is mission critical. So are you positioned well enough from an organic perspective and a paid search perspective? So are you leveraging just low-hanging fruit, meta descriptions? Do you have geography tags in there in some cases? Do you have site links in your pay-per-click? Do you have price extensions in your pay-per-click specific to the local market and that local offering? Do you have the map component associated with your local listing, your name, address, phone number? Do you have those elements consistently showcased on your paid search ads and on your site from a content perspective, as well as a meta tag perspective? Are you leveraging rich snippets? Anything that you can do to maximize that reach and visibility from a local perspective is mission critical for your business in order to make sure that you're getting people from your own backyard and capturing those opportunities that are most cost effective. And in addition to that is looking at the return on advertising dollars. A lot of times I've seen it, and I've been on pretty much a world tour for the past 4 days, it feels like. But every presentation that I go to, I hear agency folks talk about ROI. Not saying it's not important, but as an agency ourselves, we can't control every variable that's associated with ROI. So we try to focus on that return on ad spend, return on marketing dollars. What did you get back on those marketing dollars? And at the localized level, you need to take that into deep consideration, because you're going to have a number of people come to you saying, we can create that reach and visibility, but I think we also have to make sure that we're looking at return on ad spend at the localized level. With that, I would say check us out on our social media networks for more content. Don't hesitate to comment on the video and let us know what you would like to see that's going to be more useful for you to maximize SEO and pay-per-click together, and as well as our digital marketing services. Any questions you have, don't hesitate to reach out to us on social media as well as our YouTube channel. Thank you much. Have a great day.